Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm going to be brewing a Express Cold Brew. So this brand new Mr. Coffee Perfect Brew coffee maker, I just did an over ice or an iced coffee. I did a hot coffee earlier. Those are two separate videos. In this video, I did hot, over ice. Now I'm going to do the Express Cold Brew. We're going to see how that turns out. And in my videos, I'm using my very own coffee. This is Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. You can buy it at justadadcoffee.com, or right underneath the video, you will see some pop-ups of this coffee. You can buy ground coffee, already ground, whole bean, or in the K-Cup form. But it really stands up. It brews really well, hot or iced, and it tastes absolutely delicious. Okay, so around back, we have a removable water reservoir. We want to make sure the water reservoir is filled up. We have a coffee filter basket and a tea. So this can brew hot and iced tea and all of that. They're different. They're going to activate a different micro switch. So this machine knows which one you have installed. Either coffee, that's the tea micro switch, or coffee. So again, let's put this in. It does come with a reusable filter. It's like a plastic. You will get a little bit of sediment in your coffee, or you can just use a number 4 cone filter. Which that's what cleanup's a little bit easier with these cone filters. Paper, and you don't get sediment in your coffee. Fold the bottom and the side, insert it, press it up against the sides, and now there's the brew head. Now we're going to put our coffee in. Okay, here's the display. It's nice and steady in real life. It's just flickering in the video. But we got a control knob. Wherever this light is what you're controlling. When I press it, it goes over to the other side. So let's start off. I've done hot. I've done over ice. Let's do Express Cold Brew. Press it again. How much do we want to do? A full carafe, which is 8 cups, 16 ounces, or 12 ounces. The next thing is it tells us how many scoops to add of coffee. That's a really nice feature. Now the next thing is, for cold brew or Express Cold Brew, it says you don't fill the tumbler full of ice. Since it's going to brew it at a lower temperature, you're not going to get as much ice melt. When I did an over ice, this one I filled all the way full of ice. The coffee comes out really hot, it melts, gives you the perfect dilution, but this is quicker. This is going to take a while, but brews it at a lower temperature. And again, you're not going to get, even though I have 12 ounces selected, I don't get a full 12 ounces of cold brew. It is expecting some of that ice to melt. I'll end up with 12 ounces. Okay, I put 1.5 scoops. Just going to kind of level it out, put that down. Now the scoop is pretty important because the screen tells you how many scoops to add. This is the coffee side, that's the tea side. So to the top is 3 tablespoons, but when you weigh it out, you know, I always fill mine, this scoop, I fill it just below the full line, right about there. That's what I consider a full scoop when I was doing because in the chart, it gives you scoops or grams of coffee. When I was using the grams of coffee, when I weighed it, it was right about there. Either way, you're not going to go wrong, because even if you fill that all the way up, this is such a good coffee maker. It's not going to overflow the filter basket. Okay, we got everything ready. Coffee, 12 ounce. This is the brew button right here. Now this thing has a really cool feature. It can steep the coffee for a bloom. So right now it is closed off, the drip. Even though, see how that's a spring? There's a mechanism in there that will lift that up when it's time to let the coffee out. So what it's doing right now, it's putting hot water, I don't know how hot, but it is putting water onto the coffee, but it's not letting the water come out the bottom. It's going to steep it. This rapid cold brew is now, it's going to take 6 minutes. This turns into a countdown timer. So where before that was the clock, now it's going to take 6 minutes for this. And then after 40 seconds, it's going to open up that port on the bottom and let the coffee out. And we'll check temperatures and everything. It even stops putting water on it. That's a pretty long steep. been about a minute. So this must be longer. We're at 5 minutes, 20 seconds left. Yeah, I don't want to, as soon as I pause it, it'll start coming out. There it is, right at the 4 minutes left mark. So about 2 minutes steep. Wow. That was different. Now I wonder, I'm going to keep the camera rolling. I wonder if it's going to brew some more. And I couldn't quite catch that temperature, but I think it's at a lower temperature. It's 144. We got 3 minutes left, it says. Okay, it closed it. Oh, that's so cool. It closed it, and now it's going to put some more hot water. Let's see if we can catch how much hot water it's putting in there. Yeah, that's definitely a lower temperature, because when I did the hot coffee, that was about almost 200 degrees up here at the top. So it's definitely putting in a lower temperature, but it's letting it steep for almost 2 minutes. I'll pause it this time. Okay, what you're hearing, the pump's kicked off. It's not putting any more water up here. It's going to let it steep. It is closed off. It's not done. It's going to open up that port in just a little bit. See, it's letting it steep, so we did this the first time too, so it's steeping at around 135. I don't know what the correct temperature for cold brew is. I know I've done cold brew in the ice box, so. But it's going to do this for, I think, up to 2 minutes. Now again, this same coffee or the same drink as an over ice took 1.5 minutes. Express Cold Brew takes 6.5 minutes. And the over ice, it brewed 6 ounces. I bet this is brewing a little bit more since you're not going to get as much ice melt. I bet it's brewing like, you know. That coffee looked really dark coming out, so I think it's going to be pretty good. We're down to 40 seconds. And at the end of this, it's got 2 small beeps, and then it turns that back off so it doesn't drip and make a mess. I haven't found a way to turn the beeps off yet, though. I don't know if you can or not. And I will be comparing this to the $12 Mr. Coffee Maker. Again, this costs $300, which is a pretty expensive coffee maker when you can buy one at Walmart for 12 bucks. Mr. Coffee sells one of the cheapest coffee makers and now one of the most expensive ones. $300. But there are lots of options, but again, only 8 cups carafe. It's a really nice carafe. It pours really nice. Check out my hot video where I brew a hot coffee. I have an unboxing where I go through all the measurements, wattage, measurements. Okay, we're all done. All right. Again, I probably could add a little bit more ice. It's got some room, so yeah, I want that down to around under 40 degrees makes a really nice iced coffee. So where the manual says to put a quart or a third or a quarter cup of ice, I would go almost a half a cup or half the amount. When you do over ice, it's the full amount of ice, and then it brews in, melts it. So not as much ice, but you're still going to need quite a bit of ice. All right, let's add some milk. You can add any kind of milk you'd want. I can't drink it like that. It's still pretty bitter. Any kind of milk you'd like to add. And you can play around with the quantity. If it still tastes like too much coffee, add a little bit more milk. Sugar really helps. This is just French vanilla syrup. About 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon. You know, you can choose. If it's got too much, don't add as much. All right. Now, is this going to be smoother? I've got the iced coffee. I'll do a side-by-side comparison. All right. All right, let me give that a taste. Might be a little watered down. Let me try this again. Well, that's tricky. But they both taste about the same. I originally thought this one was a little watered down. This one was a little stronger. This is the first video I did, the over ice. This is the Express Cold Brew. So they both taste really good. It's a really good tasting drink. I thought this one just had a little bit more coffee flavor to it. This one has a little bit more watered down taste to it. And again, you can do an Express Cold Brew with the carafe. You just put ice in it. It gives you a line. When you do over ice, you fill it up to there with ice. With you do the Express, I would probably add about that much ice if I was doing the full carafe. And it's not going to turn the warming plate on when it's done. It's got intelligence in it. When you do hot coffee, it does turn the warming plate on. And it has a really neat sensor. This sensor, when the carafe is installed and you want to grab a quick cup of coffee, it closes that off so that it won't spill. Clean up, super simple, little handle. It's not going to drip on you. You can take and throw that away now. So I got to do the tea portion yet. It can do hot tea and iced tea. So that is kind of a neat feature. So I've done all the coffee drinks so far, and $300, man, maybe if you want the tea portion, and it does give you a separate, again, you're not going to get flavor transfer because you've got a separate basket and all of that. So I can see now where the $300 is going to come into play if you really want the tea. For strictly coffee, I'm struggling with $300. It's a good coffee maker, don't get me wrong. It needs to be more than $12. This needs to be around $150 if you wanted just the coffee side. Would I spend another $150 for the tea side? Yeah, I might. Tea's a pretty big deal. I don't drink tea, but I know tea is super important to a lot of people. And I think if you wanted coffee and tea, now I'm starting to get up into the $300 price range, which I would be okay with, because I might have a separate tea maker and a separate coffee maker. So this has got to go on sale though. That's the retail price. I paid $300 for this. I bought this with my own money and I was not paid for this video. So would I spend $300 on this? Only if I needed the tea and the coffee. I would definitely look for it to go on sale. If I was strictly a coffee drinker, man, no, I wouldn't spend $300 on this. There's some other coffee makers out there that are just as good for around $200. But then you get into the SCA, you know, the Specialty Coffee Association, the SCA approval. I mean, yeah, this is a tough call. I mean, it does seem well built. It looks nice. I don't see a lot of, you know, I don't know how long longevities Mr. Coffees typically do. They either work a long time or they are bad right out of the box. I mean, typically what I have noticed with Mr. Coffee makers, they don't just stop working after like a 2 months or so. Now, descaling, it will be a, you know, with any coffee maker, this has a clean button and a descale. No, I started something. you got to keep up on descale. So longevity wise, I will do a video on how to descale it with vinegar. That's going to help maintain it and keep it for a while. You know, if you don't ever descale it and you have really hard water, this thing could fail after 4 or 5 months. And then you're thinking it's a bad product when it's just building up with calcium and lime because you've got really hard water. I mean, the carafe pours nice. I mean, it's kind of a neat little coffee maker. So again, if you could, I would really appreciate your support. If you could try my coffee, it's a medium to dark roast. It does, I think it tastes really well. It's not a lot of flavors one way or the other as far as flowers and fruit and all of that. It's kind of a basic coffee taste. I grew up watching my dad drink Folgers. I tried Folgers. It was an okay coffee. But to me, in Dunkin' Donuts, I used to drink Dunkin' Donuts medium roast. It was more of what I would call like a standard cup of coffee. And that's kind of what I consider this. This is like a standard cup of coffee. It's not going to be fruity, nutty, chocolatey, no high notes of anything, just kind of a rich chocolate or rich coffee taste. And again, you can buy that, justadadcoffee.com. The neat thing about this is it's a small roasting company in St. Louis. They get the orders in once a week, and then they do a roast. So unlike Folgers, where it's sitting on the shelf for 3 months or in a warehouse for 2 or 3 months at Walmart, this is going to be shipped out to you. It's going to be roasted one week and shipped out to you that week. So, you know, depending on how the weekend falls, you know, maybe roasted and then shipped, you may get it the following week, but it's going to be relatively soon after the roast is when you're going to get it. And that's going to be fresh coffee. If you watch my hot video, I did a full carafe of coffee and the bloom was really cool watching that bloom. And that's from really fresh coffee. I just got this like 2 weeks ago. Comes in a sealed bag. You can seal it up. That's one of the requirements I wanted. I've got the recipes of how to brew coffee on it, hot or iced. So yeah, check out my other videos on this Mr. Coffee. I had to get it. I've done so many coffee makers. When Mr. Coffee releases a new coffee maker, you've got to get it. And they've released some really bad ones, in my opinion. They've got pretty much the standard, you know, the $12 one is like a standard coffee maker that just works. And I'm getting set up. The next video, I'm going to compare it to the $12 coffee maker. So again, if you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. And also, I used links underneath the video. You'll see links to this product. I am an affiliate with Amazon and Walmart. If you click on the link, the product won't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can buy these products with my own money and give you my honest opinion. You know, Mr. Coffee didn't contact me or nothing. This is my honest opinion on this. $300 is a lot for a coffee maker. If I needed both, hot or coffee and tea, and I definitely was, if I was going to be doing iced coffee and hot coffee and iced tea and hot tea, you know, there's 4 options there that does make it somewhere around the $300 mark. That's still a lot. But, you know, Ninja's got one that can do almost all of this for about 200 bucks. Under 200 bucks. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Also, be sure and check out my coffee, Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. You can buy it at justadadcoffee.com, or underneath the video, there'll be a little pop-up where you can buy it off of my store. That'll take you to justadadcoffee.com. I sell it in the whole bean and the ground coffee and in the K-Cup. And I ordered mine about a week ago, and that's what I've been using in this espresso machine, and I absolutely love it. The beans look a little bit light, but it's a dark to medium roast. I think it tastes really good. I've had iced coffee, regular coffees, and I've had espressos. So this coffee, the coffee that I sell, does really good with espresso, iced coffee, cold brew coffee, and just regular coffee in this machine. And also other drip coffee makers. So if you're looking for a coffee bean that just works in the brand new Ninja espresso machine, Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. So if you could give me a follow over on Instagram, and I have 2 Facebook pages, a Facebook page and a Facebook group page. I really would appreciate a follow. I do free giveaways there and kind of behind the scenes and how things are going. And that's the best way to communicate with me. My group page, you can leave a post and I'll try to answer it as soon as I can, but that's the best way to ask me questions and to see what's going on with the page. And again, I do use affiliate links. I am an affiliate with Shark and Ninja, Amazon and Walmart. So if one of the links down below, you click on it, it takes you to one of those websites and you end up purchasing the product. The product won't cost you anymore, but I will get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these videos that I love. I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could hit the thumbs up button, that really does help out my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe, leave in the comments if you'd like to see something else reviewed or this compared to something. I look at the comments and I really do appreciate everybody's feedback. So again, if you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.